welcome back to another review. This one is for a Netflix original show that I just watched. Well, I saw the first, I would say season, but they call it like part 1 and part 2. So, the first part of it, back when it came out like a year ago, or might have even been 2 years ago now, come to think of it. So, I watched it when it came out. I thought that was it. I didn't know that there was going to be a part 2. Pretty sure this is it now. I guess there's technically spaces where they could carry it on, but I don't know why they would. I don't know. If there should be a part 3, I'll watch it if it should happen and report back on it. But as far as I can tell, it's just part 1, part 2, done. So, this show, Chicago Party Ant, the first part came out very, very, very soon after I broke up with my ex that was from Chicago. That was the on again, off again one for the better part of 15 fucking years. So, there was that, and I was kind of salty about it and couldn't stop making the comparisons about, oh, this chick is just as trashy as she is. Maybe it's a Chicago thing, even though I know better, because I've known many people from Chicago, and no one else I've ever known from there has been like that, just her. So, oh, God, that. But now, this is my karma for not reviewing this right after I watched part 2 initially and dicking off and kind of forgetting to review it. Because I just found out through the grapevine earlier this week that ex apparently has cancer and is quite possibly dying. So now, it doesn't change the fact she's still a garbage trash-ass person. But at the same time, now I feel bad saying it. Comparison still stands, though. That isn't like a get-out-of-jail-free card of what kind of a person somebody is, so. Am I dropping names? No. Only hint you get, person that I was talking about during the BB's Been Bad party live stream a couple years ago. That's all you get. So, anyway, no more about her. No free rent in my head. Bye-bye. So, the show, it follows the main character, who basically is like a deadbeat. I don't know how old she's supposed to be exactly. Could be 40s, could be 50s. It's hard to say, really. Living in a condo that her sister, who's quite affluent, owns. And she's about to kick her ass out and just sell it. But at the last moment, her kid, who is about to go off to college, decides last moment he's not going to college after all. And the mom decides as punishment, yeah, you can go live with your aunt. And because of that, I guess I'm not going to sell the condo. For now. But basically, get your shit in order and get ready, because it's still happening. I'm just deferring it for a year. But you get to raise my kid in the meantime, so. He's a nerdy kid. He's pretty sheltered, and she, on the other hand, being super trashy, loves to drink, loves to do drugs, loves to fuck. She's just like a party animal. A really aged one that doesn't seem to know she's old. Yeah, she still lives the lifestyle. Still lives like a college-aged person herself. Yeah, she wants to show him how to party and have a good time, even though he's still underage. So, what could possibly go wrong? Yeah, it's like that. So her, part-time job that she works is as a hairdresser, for, literally a few hours a week, and that is all she does. Yeah, the barbershop is apparently been bought out through a merger, and new guy wants her out. By the way, he's voiced by RuPaul, so you know it's going to be a fun show as soon as RuPaul is involved. He is flamboyantly gay, because RuPaul, I don't think he'd ever play a character of any other kind. Love him. Yeah, absolutely hates her from the get-go and just wants her gone and will pretty much stop at nothing to find a way to get her gone. And throughout the course of the series, she very, 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 very slightly, just barely grows on him. Just barely enough to keep her ass employed, but he is not a fan of her. And most people are not a fan of her. The only people that seem to like her are equally as trashy as she is. And it basically chronicles her adventures of her shit show endeavors, of what all she does, just trying to get by, just trying to survive modern day era, with all of her connections to her trashy friends. It's interesting, because, I mean, there's enough real-life Chicago references thrown in that even I was catching them, and I was like, damn, alright. Some of these are obvious, and some of them are more subtle, and I still caught those, so I was like, I see what you did there. Well played. I appreciate that. I found out after watching part 2 that, apparently the show was inspired by a Twitter account of a guy who, like, was writing this as a character, so I guess this was somebody probably actually from there who knew all of these references, and that's why they're included, so that makes sense. But anyway, yeah, part 1, just train wreck through and through on every possible level, practically irredeemably so. But at the end of the day, she always just lands on her feet, barely, but she always does. So she continues partying on nonstop. But in part 2, I guess they decided they needed to make her redeemable. Because how hateable is this character otherwise, right? So just, like, as part of, like, a Christmas gift, she, like, makes everybody, like, this handmade lotion and gives it out. And even though, like, her ingredients list is, like, a hot mess, it actually works really well, and everyone she gives it to really likes it, to the point where the RuPaul character is like, you know, you may have something here. I hate to admit it. I don't want to admit it, but you may have something here. We should market and sell this. I want to go in as a business partner with you. So a lot of part 2 is, like, following the endeavors of him trying to get her to pull her shit together enough to be able to try to sell a product and, like, pitch it to their version of Shark Tank, and get this thing sold, because he sees potential for it, even though she's such a mess that, like, just getting her to do the bare minimum, like, his requests of her are not asking much. And again, why I can't help but make comparisons to a certain somebody I used to know. Bare freaking minimum is still somehow too much to ask of her, always. And she always finds a way to screw everything up constantly. Yeah, it's like that. But in, like, the 11th hour of the final day, they succeed. And it looks like she's moving up in the world because now she bought the condo. Yep. And this is where I'm like, I don't see them really continuing this to a part 3. I mean, I suppose you could, but I don't know why you would, because I frankly, if there was no real character development in this one other than she has a successful business now, even though she basically had to be dragged kicking and screaming the whole way to make it happen, what the hell would be the point of a part 3? I don't know. I don't see it happening, but stranger things have happened. Maybe there'll be one, but I don't think there is. I think it tied up enough of the loose ends to where if it stops there, that's fine. If it continues, that's fine too. It's pretty versatile that way, but I don't know. I'm glad that I rewatched part 1, though, before watching part 2, now that more time has passed. And it's not as raw of a wound for me, because the first time I watched part 1, I was so salty about it, I was just, like, mad the whole time, because I could not stop making the comparisons, and just was basically pissed off non-stop over it. But rewatching it the second time, enough time and space has gone by where I could just watch it as a piece of media and not make the comparisons, and okay, alright. It's honestly, like, your IQ is going to drop for watching it, probably, but it's kind of a fun show, I suppose, if you have nothing better to watch and, like, you like stupid humor like I do. Okay, it's fine. It's not the best thing I've ever seen. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's very mid. It's very mid. Before they added the second season, just, like, judging part 1 through the lens of watching it now, I would have probably ranked that one higher than the second one. The second one feels weak and forced, in my opinion, and like they did it just out of an obligation to try to reform the character a little bit, and make her redeemable. But, part one, I think I would, like, maybe give it, like, a 3 out of 5. Second season, honestly, bored me to tears by the end of it. Like, I was okay through about the first half. By the second half, I was like, for the love of God, how much more is there to this thing? Wrap it the fuck up. So maybe, like, a 2.5 out of 5. Like, not a huge drop in score from the first one, but, like, it's already kind of low to start with. So I'm like, it's just very mid. It's very mid. But it's fine. Like, I would imagine if you're, like, a Chicago fanboy or fangirl, you'll probably appreciate all the references. Outside of that, if you're just watching it for the plot, it's, like, a very mid-level, like, adult cartoon. Best way to sum it up. So, I don't know. I have very mixed emotions about this one, but just not the best thing I've seen lately. Not the best thing I've seen lately. I've been watching much better shows that I'm all invested in, that I will be happy to review as soon as I finish them, but I'm still in the process of watching them, so anyway. That is it for this one right now. The irony of going from that, which I made my comparisons to, straight into Crazy Ex-Girlfriend next. Could there be a link here? Do I see myself in the other one? Anyway, that's it for this one, guys. So, as usual, you know what to do. If you like this video, give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe. Hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload. Leave comments down below. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my eBay, my Reddit, everything and more. It's all down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel, you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. Anyway, guys, until next time, see ya.